Hi children, welcome back to our biology class. Today we are going to recollect the whole chapter 6 for the continuity of generations. Let's start our class. At first we discussed about the reproduction in bacteria, fungus and Hydra. In bacteria, an existing cell divides to form two new cells. This process is called binary fission. In fungus, spores are minute cells that can survive in unfavorable conditions and develop into new organisms under favorable conditions. This is a type of asexual reproduction. This is a reproduction method of fungus. In Hydra, buds are formed in the parent body. When it grows, it separates itself from the parent body and develops into a new organism. This method is called budding. Then we discussed about the reproduction in plants. The flowers are the sex organs in plants. The androecium and gynoecium are the male and female reproductive part of a flower. Here, the male gamete from pollen grains and the female gamete or egg from ovule fuse together to form zygote. Pollination is the transfer of pollen grains to the stigma of the flowers. The pollen tube develops from the pollen grain that falls on the stigma and grows towards the ovary. The pollen grain contains two nuclei, such as generative nucleus and tube nucleus. Along with this nuclei in the pollen also enter the pollen tube. The generative nucleus divides in the pollen tube to form two male gametes and the tube nucleus disintegrates. One of the male gametes that reaches the ovary through the pollen tube fuses with the egg to form zygote. The second male gamete fuses with the polar nuclei in the ovary and endosperm is formed from it. Zygote develops into embryo and endosperm becomes the stored food needed for the embryo's growth. Next, we studied about the reproduction in human beings. In higher organisms, including human beings, specific organ system is developed to produce gametes. The male reproductive system has four major parts. The first one is vas deferens, the duct that carries sperms from the testis to the ureter. The second one is the prostate gland. It produces secretion that contains the factors required for the nutrition and movement of gametes. Third one is the penis, formed of specialized muscles and blood spaces. Urine and semen come out through the duct inside the penis. It helps to deposit sperms in the vagina. The last part is the testis. It is seen inside the scrotal sac. It produces sperms and male hormones. Next, we studied about the male gamete, sperm. It is motile and microscopic. The sperm has a head, middle piece and a tail. They move with the help of the tail. Mitochondria, it is present in the middle piece. It provides energy for the movement of the sperm. The nucleus that contains the paternal chromosomes, it is seen in the head. Sperms are formed inside a pair of testes located in the scrotal sac outside the abdominal cavity. Testis also produces a male sex hormone called testosterone. Sperms, along with the secretion of glands, including the prostate gland, reaches the penis and is secreted outside. This process is called insemination. Next, we studied about the female reproductive system. The female reproductive system has 5 parts. First one is the ovary. It produces ovum and female hormones. Second one, fallopian tube or oviduct. It carries ovum to the uterus. Fertilization takes place in the fallopian tube. Third part is the uterus. The fetus completes its growth in uterus. The next part is endometrium. It is the inner layer of the uterine wall. The fetus grows by adhering to the endometrial wall. The last part is the vagina. It is a part through which uterus opens out. Sperms are deposited here. Next is about the female gamete, ovum. It is larger than a sperm. Ovum is non-motile. Specialized protective layers are seen outside the cell membrane of the ovum. A pair of ovaries situated in the abdominal cavity produces ova and the female sex hormones called estrogen and progesterone. Ovulation is the process of releasing mature ovum from the ovary. Normally, one ovum matures per month. Okay, children, let's wind up our today's class. I hope all of you understood today's topics very well. All of you read the textbook twice or thrice. See you in the next class. Thank you.